So I'm working on a game called Potion Shop Simulator. It's a game about running your own shop in a fantasy village while also making the products yourself. The potions, if that wasn't obvious. So you take care of the plants, brew the potions, run the shop, and repeat. Throughout this process, you gain reputation and you have the ability to scale your operation. Other than this, events in the village also allows for more dynamic interactions such as quests, markets, and traveling merchants. The game also allows for online multiplayer, allowing you to enjoy this game with your friends. Over the course of development, however, the game's core mechanics have been starting to fall a little flat. Even though you'd gain reputation and thus gain more customers, and you're even able to buy more plants to increase the output of your ingredients, the whole brewing process of potions still just felt really flat. And just overall, that process didn't really support the scalability of gameplay I would want in sort of a tycoon management style game. It worked well overall, and the playtesters were enjoying it. The issue was just it didn't feel satisfying and engaging on a deeper level. And this is just really not good enough for what's essentially the very heart of the game. And so, even though it's risky, I decided we have to remake the core of the game. And just as a reminder, you can join the Discord to follow along in development of the game, and also please make sure to go and wishlist the game. It really helps us indie developers a lot, but that's not enough advertising for myself. First, let's go over how it worked before any changes. It all starts with the plants. When you pick a plant, you get the ingredient and the plant will automatically start to grow again. You know, like how plants tend to do. These ingredients hold different types of properties, which is one of the 4 Greek elements: fire, water, air, and earth. You hit the correct ratio between these elements, you'll be able to start the brewing process in order to get the corresponding potion as an output. If you have more properties in the cauldron, you'll get a bigger potion, and the more precisely you hit the ratio between properties in relation to the recipes, the higher quality the potion will be. This is highly inspired by the brewing of potionomics. There are many different potions in the game, so this base of the system is really all about discovering the new potions. So why do we want to change this in the first place? Well, the mechanics worked well. However, if we separate it into steps, it's like plant, ingredient, cauldron, potion. What we found is that each step is not very satisfying by itself, and the process overall, well, it's linear, and this essentially gives the players very little control over their potion output. It's very important to me that this very core of the game is as satisfying and fun as possible, and that it scales with the player's understanding of the game. With these few steps in the process, the co-op aspect of the game also easily fell flat, as there was never really a need for more than one player during the plant to potion process. So this means that these very core steps, they have to change. So first of all, we have to split up the plant keeping from the potion brewing. So we've introduced environmental conditions that affect plant growth rates. This means that players need to consider their placement to optimize the performance of their plants better. In the future, we're also considering adding items that allow the player to modify these conditions, such as a light source. We've also introduced the need to water the plants with the watering can and filling the watering can with the water from the well out front. This creates another layer of interaction, allowing the player to become more involved in the growing process. We also want to allow other interactions with the plants, possibly fertilizing to increase the yield or possibly grow speed or others. Let us know if you have any other ideas for this plant process. We're all ears, and the comment section is always so helpful. Now for the brewing, this is where the magic really happens. So we've worked on introducing a whole bunch of new steps. So now the mechanic is a lot more extensive and allows for simple, direct and quick brewing, or to go more in depth in order to increase the output and essentially min-maxing your process. So for the simple and quick brewing, you can still do exactly the same as before, essentially taking the ingredient directly from the plant, put it in the cauldron. However, we also allow for a bunch more steps along the way in order to increase your output at the cost of your time. So the largest brewing loop now goes ingredient to drying, to mortaring to a powder, to storage in jars, and then to the cauldron. Along any of these steps, you can take the ingredients to the cauldron and it will have gotten better along the way. For example, the drying makes the ingredient more potent, which essentially means yielding more elemental properties. The mortaring takes the ingredient from a single ingredient to multiple powders, and the storage is simply to allow for quick brewing in the future with easy access to all your ingredients. Each of these steps also have some kind of dedicated interaction and feedback to immerse the player in the process. And I must say, this has greatly improved how much I enjoy playing the game myself. It's fun and satisfying to improve your ingredients from a weak, simple plant to multiple strong and potent powders. We've introduced little minigames along the way, such as the mortaring and brewing, to really give the feeling that you're doing the actions yourself. And another thing that's also added is the bottler. This is in order to take the liquid from the cauldron, once the brewing is finished, and into the bottles. Using the bottler, the player can select how many potions they want to make, whether that be one large or several smaller ones. And overall, the biggest thing about adding so many new steps is the fact that all of them have upgrades. Every step along the way can now get upgraded in one way or another. For example, the drying rack can get more slots for ingredients, the mortar can have a larger output of powders, the storage jars can hold more total ingredients, the cauldron can hold more total ingredients allowing for larger potions, and the bottler can have a larger output of potions, so you start with one potion and towards the end you can maybe make 3 or 4 potions per brew. This greatly increases the feeling of progress in your game, as well as allowing for a lot more interesting interactions that should benefit both single player and multiplayer. It also opens up the playtime of the game, as it adds a level of scalability and customization to your game as you progress. So what do you think about these changes? Is there anything that we're missing? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and for that sake also in our Discord, which will be in the description below. As we also do, and as I've made a previous video on, we of course ran playtests with this. We actually started with a super close playtest, where we only tested with the 4 most active playtesters that we have. These guys have been absolutely amazing from start to finish. We wanted their very core feedback first to get rid of any immediate issues before we open up to all playtesters. They also understood the previous loop very well, so they could immediately tell us and identify if anything broke in the game and the feeling of the game. Now, this playtest did go really well, with everyone definitely seeing an overall upgrade, with few questions and issues. Our first focus was definitely to get rid of any immediate bugs and kinks, and once those were ironed out, we opened up to the full playtest. And overall, the feedback from this open playtest was the best that we've ever seen. People purely voting 4 to 5 out of 5 in the did you have fun segment, as well as 83% saying that they'd buy the game when it comes out. We also checked the pacing of the game and asked them to rank it from 1 to 10, with 5 being the perfect pace and 1 being way too slow, 10 being way too fast, and we got majority 5s. With a few votes in the high end, we still think it might be a little fast, so it's definitely something that we're gonna have to figure out. So without going super in depth with the playtest as we've already done before, this has overall been a great success, giving us a lot more to move forward with. Our focus from here will definitely be about balancing and polishing, with maybe a few more features moving forward, such as really bringing the village to life with events such as markets, traveling merchant and so on. But that'll all be in a future video. So wait, don't leave yet, don't leave yet. The last video had awesome feedback in the comments. Some really long ones as well, full of amazing ideas and great takes on the game. I really hope we can keep that alive, as it really helps us understand what you guys are interested in seeing in the game. After all, we are making a game that we love, but it's also really important that hopefully you guys will also want to play the game and will want to try it out and support us in the future. Please do remember to go on wishlist on Steam. It helps us indie developers so much, and it lets us know that you have a genuine interest in our game as well. We'll also be running an open demo playtest before Steam Next Fest, which is just next month. So make sure to join our Discord for that in order to stay up to date. And also, lastly, just remember to like, subscribe, comment, and I just hope that you have a wonderful day.